Every year, the captains of Alaska's fishing paradise return to Chatham Strait a couple weeks before the fishing season begins to get their boats and gear ready for the summer. They check out every part of their boat, from the propeller to the anchor line, and there's always something that needs a little work. The veteran captains teach the newcomers the ins and outs of fishing the Inside Passage, so that when the guests show up, everyone has an amazing experience. Deep in remote southeast Alaska, there lies a fishing paradise like no other.
Big fish.
Alaska's fishing paradise. Each captain's relationship with their vessel is different, but they all spend the majority of each summer on board, so the maintenance of their boat is not just a point of pride, but a necessity for their livelihood. Captain John Mills is on the Tlingit, doing repairs with the help of Captain John Beath and guide in training Bob Sourwine.
Today we had to change out the old anchor line, strip it all off and replace it with a new anchor line because it was starting to rot and fray, and so we just replaced it all and put new splices in and ran the anchor chain up into it. I think it's going to be good to go for the season.
That's pretty good.
As the lodge staff settle in for their 3-month stay on Killis, New Island, Captain Andy rounds up a few of the other captains to check out some freshwater fishing.
Today we are taking the captains and all the canoes and kayaks and heading up into the Hasselberg River system, prepping it for the season full of guests going to enjoy some wonderful freshwater fishing. When you're heading out here in the morning to get your herring on, I'm always just looking for the birds. You know, we're all looking for birds or activity, but you can find herring right by the harbor, right by the cemetery here, all the way down Danger Point to the inside. So a lot of people just storm on through, but like last year, you guys remember when the herring were out here by the Red Can like crazy? They can be anywhere.
Well, I got a bunch right over here too.
Yeah, by the cemetery. This is also a really good king hole here. 120 feet off the bank, and then it's like a 250-foot hole right at the turnaround, and slam some good kings in there. Malcolm, why don't you take a canoe, tie it up to the boat, moor the boat out to that buoy, paddle the canoe back.
The mooring is a stationary anchor point attached to a buoy that the captains tie their boat to when taking canoes into the fresh water, so the boat doesn't capsize with the changing of the tides.
Cool. It's gonna reduce a lot of time getting the clients to their boats, giving them more time upriver. Well, gentlemen, many hands make light work. That was nice.
Alaska's Fishing Paradise is brought to you by Whalers Cove Lodge.
We're in the Hasselberg River system, in the Salt Lake area. This is the first expedition of the season to show the new captains the area, set up mooring lines, stage canoes, and get this area ready for fishing for the clients, T-minus 5 days. Beautiful afternoon. I'm about to see if I can get into some dollies and cutthroats. Well, we've had a successful day here in the Hasselberg River system, predominantly in the first narrows of Salt Lake, catching cutthroats on the fly, cutthroats on the hardware, nice Vibrex. The guys all seem to have a good time, prospecting for when the clients show up. Got all the gear ready. It's going to be a great season.
To help make it a great season, the maintenance staff work hard to complete various remodeling projects before the guests arrive.
We're gonna try a new rig I brought up here. It's called a Brad Super Bait, and it's kind of what it is it imitates a cut plug herring. Kind of rolls and spins the same way. So I'm gonna run it out there and give it a shot. See, you just got a banana lead on there right now? If you want, you can try that diver.
Want to do it?
Yeah, just for kicks.
Of course.
See how it works. I went down 70.
Yeah, of course, John. That sounds great. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reel in my cut plug herring on the banana weight, and John's gonna set me up on this diver that he brought. Another new piece of tackle. We're kind of just doing some research and development out here on Point Sand. See if we can get in some new techniques for the clients this year. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this one here, you can adjust different depths on it. So we'll give it a try and see what happens. I'm going to switch over from the Brad Super Bait to the Pearl White spoon.
Why is that, John?
Well, because this color imitates a squid, which the king salmon feed on.
Well, it's been all morning. I've been bringing down all of my tackle. I've got a bunch of brand new rods I'm going to test out. I've got a bunch of new lures and some of the stuff that worked last year. So it's just going to take a lot of time to get everything ready and get all the rods strung up, reels on the rods, and get everything all done, get lures tied. For instance, here's one. It's called a spatterback, and it's kind of got glow in there, but on the other side it's glow. And then I've got the chartreuse. Here's one of my hoochies that one of the local trollers told me was really hot, and this kind of got blue and silver, and then I combined it with the purple, and then on the back side it's chrome. So I'm really looking forward to fishing this. I think it's going to be a hot king lure, and we've got a lot more kings this year. You know, we're allowed to take in May and June 2 kings a day per person, up to 6 for your annual limit. In July and August, it's 1 a day per person and 6 for your annual limit. So if you come for 4 days, you can catch a king salmon every single day. That is, if they cooperate. I want my guests to catch the most salmon, the most halibut that we possibly can within the law or catch and release, and just have as good a time as we can. The better your gear is, the better organized you are, the better you're going to do.
My name's Dave Copeland, and this is Straight Talk. Today I will be demonstrating how to splice and tie together rope. And this can be used in many different ways, so I'll just start off by demonstrating and then going through what we use it for. You have your 2 cut ends of rope, and you unbraid them down about 6 inches on each side. And this splice is used to connect 2 existing pieces of rope to make it longer. The key to this splice is to intertwine, so there's one from each direction in between the other ones going the other direction. Kind of got to separate them and finger them together so they come together like this. Then you can take just a piece of twine, string, tape sometimes works, and it keeps the middle tight for when you start your braid. So now that that's tied together and tight, you can now start your braid. And the key to braiding this back on itself is you go over one, under the other. And what we're using it's called a Swedish fid. And that's what we use to braid the ropes. So you go under this piece of braid, back through, tighten that down. You'll work your way across to each individual strand, going over and under as you work your way back up the rope. And as you can see, the braid's starting to take form. So there, as you can see, that side's just about done. So once you're done with that point, you can just turn it back over, start from the other side. And now your rope's braided back over itself, strong, tight, and now you have one long existing piece of rope. Don't ask me to braid hair though, because that's not happening. That same braid can be used for making bow and stern lines. You create a loop, you use that same frayed end with the three strands, and you braid it back over itself onto that same piece instead of a different piece of rope. You can also use it as on an anchor line. You can put the shackle for your anchor here in your chain, or just the chain link itself, and run the rope through the chain, and there you go, you have your chain line. We also use that same braid that I just showed you on a small piece of rope, and you can connect the anchor ring or the chain ring that we use with our buoys for our anchor system for our smaller boats. And that you just take 2 3-foot piece of rope, you do that same braid I just showed you, and then you have a loop that connects your ring. So there's no knots, it's nice and clean, just have a braid.
We're gonna put on the infamous spin and glow. John walloped a lot of kings with last year. I actually have never fished this before. So this is the spin and glow. I'm gonna put a strip of herring on it, put it about 15 feet back from the rigger, and go down about 45. See if we can get in some action.
Salmon.
Halibut.
Oh, little halibut, little halibut.
Well, Fishing for kings, hooked into a halibut. First fish of the day, guys. I got the skunk off the new pants. A little bit of head shaking. Got us excited. Got everybody out of their seats for a minute.
Fish, fish, fish. Right in the bait ball, too. Still there? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, you're right. You called that one, didn't you? Now we're going to catch fish.
First king of the day, shaker. Grow up, buddy. Thanks, Zach. Zach came by, waked our boat out, and I was like, oh, that's all I need, a little wiggle, a little change. Sure as heck, boom, right there. First blackmouth of the day.
King here. Oh yeah. Nice king. Yeah, buddy. That's a good fish here. Oh, nice fish. All pearly white. Look at that. He tried to swallow it.
Oh, yeah, he did. Holy cow, nice one.
Yeah, that's a good fish here. Well, there you go. There's your dinner present.
Awesome.
Yeah. They just love the spoon. I don't know what it is. They just eat it up. Right on.
Hold it up, John. Do the hold up.
Yep, that's a nice fish.
Yep, I put him right on it.
Yeah, that's a dandy. We'll see lots more of these this year.
Here we are, back in the Hasselberg River, day 2. We got a couple local lodge employees, Jimmy and Bobby. Got them away from the drudgery of day-to-day life, showing them what the clientele do to enjoy this wonderful Southeast Alaskan paradise. We're gonna get back into the rivers, see if we can catch some bigger cutthroat, maybe some Arctic char, maybe some Dolly Varden. Just kind of seeing what the system's doing after day 1, seeing if any salmon have started working their way up or not. Giving Malcolm Quinton another taste of what he's gonna be guiding on day in, day out here in beautiful Southeast Alaska. Hey, slow down, guys. Geez, where are you going? This isn't a race.
We got twice the horsepower that you have.
That's what it is. Well, you got Bobby. That's triple. All right, so we've arrived at the fishing ground. We're just prepping one of these spin caster rods for Jimmy. See if we can get him on some nice cutthroats. Once we get the salmon up in the rivers, they're not really feeding. They're actually going into a protective state where they think that the vibrexes are eggs floating away. So they mouth the eggs really gently and try to take them back down to the reds. And with this vibrex, you can feel the action spinning and you know you have a fish hooked up, and that action stops. When you feel that, set the hook. You usually have a nice silver on. This time of year though, more cutthroats, some char, some Dolly Varden. Malcolm on the other side is fly fishing, and he said he wanted to try a lot of different patterns. He was trying to see what was working when, and he had about 12 different ones he was going to try out, not just to see what's most successful, but what's most successful in this river, and something that you can forecast for his clients for later in the season. So it's good research and development. First cast, third cast. First cutthroat of the day.
Yeah. Finally got in the right spot, maybe. Bad. About 12 inches.
Nice. Heading out from the inside of Admiralty Island, these guys hooked in some nice cutthroat. Another beautiful day here on the Salt Lake. Can't ask for much more. I think it's still, you know, argumentative who got the biggest fish of the day, though. I might have caught a 12, maybe 13. Where'd you catch him? In the mouth. In the mouth.
Like, where'd you shoot your deer? In Idaho?
They have not been catching the biggest fish, but for today, knowledge is what they were fishing for.